Yeah, we're live.
We're live.
Hey everyone, this is Dedy with Austin 101, and I have with me here a beautiful lady from Liberty Mutual. Her name is Lisa Lam. She's been in the insurance industry for quite a while now, and she does homeowners and auto
And life insurance.
and life insurance. Okay, and just so you know, let me see. Can I see myself on the? Oh, that's pretty strange. Anyways, if you have questions, we are taking questions live, but we're gonna go back and forth with some more common questions about insurance. All right, and we're gonna focus mainly on homeowners insurance. And just so you know, if you send your questions in, you get this. You stand a chance to win this iTunes gift card valued at $25.
Wow.
So I hope you like iTunes gift cards, because if not, then you're getting
That's what you're getting.
an iTunes gift card. Anyways, so Lisa, I want to thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
I know it's very hard to. You're a very busy woman, and I'm so glad that I'm able to, be able to get your time today. So let me start off with how long have you been in business?
I've been in the insurance industry for 2 years at Liberty and then 2 years at another company. So a total of 4 years. Wow, 4 years has gone by. Yep.
Wow, 4 years. Okay. So what got you started in this business?
I was in restoration prior. So it's just a natural progression to move into something else.
Okay. So you knew a little bit about the inner workings before,
yeah.
and then you started getting more interest in it. Okay.
Yeah.
And where is your office?
I'm on 183 in Oak Knoll. If y'all know where the Keller Williams Northwest is, we're on the second floor.
You're on the second floor.
Yep.
Okay. It's very convenient to be close to one of the biggest
Yes.
brokerages, although we are a very good brokerage. Austin 101 is a very good brokerage.
The best.
Just so you know. All right. So okay. So a lot of times when a lot of my clients, when they are buying a home,
Mhm.
they will naturally be also purchasing a homeowner's insurance.
Yeah.
So typically, when they ask for a quote, what kind of things that do you typically ask for from them to be able to give them a quote?
Okay, perfect. I need to know their date of birth.
Okay.
We can't magically know that. Sometimes clients think that, no.
Okay.
And also just their year built, square footage, but usually I can find those items myself.
Okay.
But I just want to verify. So if there's remodels, I need to know things like that. If there's going to have a security system when the roof was replaced, and that gives me a good place to have a preliminary quote. And then I obviously ask additional questions after that, but just to start off with, that's what I need.
That's what you need. Okay, excellent. And typically, how long does it take for you to turn around, like the quote?
The quote, just about 30 minutes.
30 minutes, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
All
30
right.
minutes, I'm able to find a lot of information out through our databases. Also going through the appraisal district, I'm trying to find out as much information, but as quickly, because those items or those databases may not be as accurate as the actual person who's looked at the home already.
Okay, all right. So for those who are, I guess there are people watching, hey, welcome to the live Q&A. If you have any questions about insurance, just want you to know we are taking live questions, okay? So, and if you missed my introduction, if you put in a question, you do get a chance to win an iTunes gift card. And I hope you like iTunes gift card, because if you don't like it, you'll still be drawn for it. All right. Okay, so what are typically some of the challenges that people face in terms of getting their home insured? Are there situations where a home might have
Not be
trouble?
insured?
Yeah, or there's limits to how much the insurance can cover?
There are always ways to get around things. For example, your lender may tell me that they have, a strict DTI and the insurance is at $800. It might not be a Liberty product that I'm going to be offering with all of the bells and whistles, but I may be able to get them that $800 quote with okay coverage. That's the only real thing to overcome. It's like the lender is like, no, I need here. And I'm just like, okay, I'll give it to you, but you have to let me know that ahead of time. I can't just like quote them, talk to the customer, and the customer's like, I love it, yes, and then it's like, oh, by the way, no, you can't have this.
Okay.
All
right, so let's for those of us that have to get a loan to buy, which is most of us, we have to get insurance to be able to get the loan.
Yep.
But those of us who pay cash, I know there's some gray areas, but of course, we always advise our clients to get insured, no matter whether you pay cash or not. But are there some people that feel like, hey, maybe if I don't have to get insurance, then I might be able to save me, maybe $1,000 or $2,000 a year? Is it worth it?
I don't think it's worth it because all the items that you have in your home, your dwelling, and also even if someone gets hurt or they want to go after you, they can just take your home. They can't just use that liability coverage because we can go up to $1 million on a primary home for liability. So you don't have to get that umbrella. You can put it on an add-on, but do you have $1 million plus, your home?
It's a good question. Do you have $1 million? If you do, come
to him.
See me, and I'll put you with the right properties. Okay. Calling all those who have $1 million, please come see me right after this. All right. Okay. All right. Thank you for explaining that. So, typically when people buy insurance, there's a lot of technical jargon. Like, hey, this is the deductible. This is my coverage, and this is my appraisal. What do those mean? So let's start with deductible.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
why do I have to pay? Why do I have to pay a deductible?
Well, it's the same concept as auto insurance, right?
All right.
So you always have to pay a deductible. You can have, if you're living in the Austin area, Liberty actually will do like $500 deductibles. The industry standard is at 1%. New homeowners and people who have current homes, they misunderstand what 1% means. 1%, a lot of customers think that it means 1% of the claim. It's not that. It's 1% of your dwelling coverage. So say if your dwelling's at $300,000, then your deductible is going to be $3,000 per occurrence.
Okay. All right. So you just mentioned dwelling coverage. Okay,
yes.
This is another
yeah.
technical jargon of insurance. Tell us what's the difference between dwelling coverage and the actual value of the house. Is that the same thing?
No, it's not, because whenever you're looking at the market value in your appraisal, that is including your slab and also your lot. And also, let's just be honest here, there's the market out there that is going to fluctuate, right?
Okay.
So what we talk about dwelling is just your structures. We want to replace it from the slab up. So if your house burned down to the ground, your slab's going to be there, the market's still going to be there, and your lot's going to still be there. So it doesn't have to be the full, sale amount or appraisal amount. It needs to just be enough to rebuild your home. Okay.
So dwelling coverage basically covers the house itself, but not the full value of the house.
Correct.
So basically, you won't cover the land.
No.
And why is that?
Because when you burn your house to the ground, your land will still be there. If it floods, your land is still there.
How about a pool? Is the pool part of the dwelling
It'll
coverage?
be part of other structures.
Okay.
But usually pools, you're looking at more of a liability, right?
Okay.
People are drowning, falling, hurting themselves.
Yeah. So don't get a pool. Or if you do, make sure you don't drown, don't hurt yourself, and don't run.
And don't invite other people there
No pool parties. Okay, all right, we'll talk later. All right, go ahead. Yeah.
I don't know. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I lost my train of thought.
So, what are some of the things that help me to get a better rate? For example, what are some of the features of house that insurance companies prefer or like to cover, if you will, because it presents a lower liability? So, can you go through some of that for us?
New homes are the best because
buy new homes. Yes.
Under construction homes are my favorite. New roofs, if you can get, say, if you're purchasing a used home, and if you can get the owner to replace that roof, then you'll get a better deal. And also getting any security systems, that will also be a discount. But for Liberty, we will actually waive your deductible during a break-in or a burglary. So that's also a plus on our side. The discount's not going to cover a security system, but if there's a break-in, then it may.
Okay, I see. So you said what circumstance you will be able to waive the deductible?
For a break-in or a burglary, and it has to be on.
It has to be on.
Yes, you can't just have a security system there and it wasn't on during that time.
Okay.
So it has to be on during the break-in.
Fully monitored. Okay. So you can't have something like, I'll just have it beep, but it doesn't tell the police anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we need to know that it was on. If you have documentation that it was on during the break-in, we'll be able to waive it.
Okay. All right.
Documentation's huge, right?
All right. Now, what about things like energy efficiency? Does that play anything into like insurance liability?
No, that will be. I feel like energy efficiency is more about like the actual selling of the home, right? Like, it's energy efficient. Like for us, it's not, because it's going to go by the day that the home was built. Okay,
I see. So in Texas here, we know that most of the homes are framed with wood, but the outside it can be what does it say?
Tie-backed.
Tie-back, okay.
People sometimes tie back right before.
Yes, that's right.
That also helps, with energy.
Yeah, and then outside of that, you have the masonry, basically brick, stone, stucco, or hardy plank.
Yeah.
Now, is there a difference in terms of what kind of masonry, what kind of material for the outermost walls, the exterior walls of the house that will play towards a better insurance rate?
Well, obviously fire resistancy is going to be a big factor. But with most pre-existing homes, whenever I look at my vendor replacement cost, that's how I figure out what your dwelling should be. It will pre-fill that for me. So then it will automatically tell me what the rate's going to be and everything like that. So only like new builds is when I'm like in there like looking at what is your home built like? What is it doing?
So I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a common knowledge or myth or rumor among the realtors that hardy plank or these wooden outside outer wall is going to be more fire prone and therefore will be hit with a higher insurance premium, if you will. Is that true?
I will say that I don't really pay attention to hardy plank. I don't have that many homes that are like hardy plank, right?
Oh, okay.
Most homes are masonry or stucco or synthetic stucco, things like that. That is the homes that I'm seeing that's being purchased. Not hardy plank, so I can't really speak to that.
There are quite a few right now, especially in the entry level market for first-time home buyers or investment homes. Okay, so what does a standard policy cover?
So standard policies for Liberty, I can't speak for other companies. Our dwelling is all risk. So we'll take on any risk, but they'll have specific exclusions that are, kind of universal. So it'll be flood, because that's regulated by FEMA, earthquakes. You can't add earthquake coverage, but, when was the last time that we had an earthquake?
Okay.
And nuclear war is not covered.
Oh, Hey, Kim Jong-un does have Austin on his list, so I don't know.
So, but everything else is covered. For us, we'll have $5,000 in mold coverage, foundation and slab. Our water backup goes all the way to the dwelling. There's no sub-limits. A lot of companies are doing that because water damage is very costly. I worked in restoration.
Okay.
Minimum of a water damage is like $4,000 if it's a, one story.
Okay.
So, and that's just to fix it. That's not to like put the items back.
Okay. So you mentioned that you work in restoration. Which company was that?
It was Servpro.
Servpro. Okay. All right. By the way, Servpro is one of my favorite companies, but I'm not here to endorse one of them. But Lisa has extensive experience in that area. So if you have questions about restoration, so if your house burned down, or got flooded or anything, she has a lot of contacts in that area. Now, speaking of burned down or I've got a live question, ladies and gentlemen, but it will be addressed really soon. Maybe she gets the iTunes gift card. No, that's my boss. All right. Speaking of that, so we're gonna probably. I know that you're here in Austin, and what happened with Houston is a huge. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate, and there are many folks that are struggling right now to, get compensation or, repair their homes, or maybe even, find the next home, but be able to sell their current home. I know there's a lot of complications that have to do with that.
Yeah, federal government likes to put a lot of restrictions.
Yes. So in terms of restoration, what are some of the options? If a homeowner does go the restoration route, what are some of the options that are available to them? And if insurance is able to, homeowners insurance, does that help a homeowner with some of the restoration costs?
So the only way that the insurance company will be involved in a flood, something like that, like Hurricane Harvey, is if it had wind damage. So say if your shingles came off and that, I think this is turf or the tar, rips open also, so that's wind damage and water comes in, then it is covered by insurance because that's under your wind and hail or named storm deductibles. Okay. But if water just rised in, then it's not covered under insurance. So it's just kind of trying to figure out what happened to your home. Was it the wind or was it just rising water? Got it.
So there are some
coverage, but it's not
fine print, if you will, ladies and gentlemen. But Lisa can help you
navigate
the fine print. All right, sounds good. And so, what about like this? Sometimes these come up. If I have like personal property, like jewelry, firearms, should I cover that? Is that covered under the homeowner's insurance?
So yes, on the schedule, there's, if you have a certain endorsement on our basic policy, no. But what I tell people is whenever they have jewelry, say if you're wearing your ring, your Rolex, all this jewelry on a day-to-day basis, definitely go schedule it because it has a higher chance of being stolen. But if you have a collection of your own like jewelry store at home, but it's all in a safe, there's no reason you're spending extra money that you don't need to be spending. Okay. Because it's in a safe, right? So it's okay. But if it's just lying around your house, you should probably go buy a safe instead of insurance.
Okay. And probably, yeah. Well, most people that own firearms, they do have a safe for them. Yes. But jewelry, I guess they do have that too. So make sure you guys explore that option. Mm-hmm. And so kind of, I want to move to a little bit about auto policy because most of the questions that are coming in are about the auto policy.
Oh, I love that. I love it's about home and everybody's asking about auto.
So hey, well, I have 3 kids. So one of them, well, 2 of them don't know how to drive yet. They're not at the age to drive. But the oldest one now has a license and he's driving. So Lisa, to be honest, I got a rude shock when I saw the bill. But
it's very expensive.
But for those who maybe maybe are going to get a driving teenager in about a year or so, or maybe 2 years out, are there some things that they can do to start prepping for that rate?
Saving money.
Saving money. Okay, that's a good advice, ladies and gentlemen. It's always the best course of action.
So Liberty used to have a lot of discounts. Unfortunately, we've actually removed a lot of those. The biggest one we have is Right Track. I know I talked to you about that.
Yes. So, tell us a little bit about that. Yes.
So if y'all know about Progressive Snapshot, it's very similar to that. We give you 5% for participating in the program. After 90 days, you can get a total of 30%. So that device gets plugged into your diagnostic port. It tracks heart braking, excessive acceleration, and nighttime driving. So you get an app that you can like monitor and everything like that. But for teenage drivers, I think it's a good way to tell them like, hey, you need to stop braking. You need to stop like going from 0 to 60. We're not street racing. It's no longer the 2000s.
No street racing, parents
do
and teenagers who are driving. Okay, very good, very good. And that's some really good advice that you're giving. And we were jumping back into the homeowners insurance world again. And the question is, for an experienced investor, for real estate investor, what can an umbrella policy cover? What does an umbrella policy cover? Like if they have like a portfolio of properties.
Yeah, I always definitely recommend umbrella policies for teenagers and also investors. I'll touch on why on teenagers.
Teenagers. Okay, we're back to teenagers again.
But for investors, I think it's really important because if a tenant wants to sue you, your umbrella can help cover that. If they want to go, because they're trying to go after all your assets, and when you're an investor, you have hopefully a multiple homes, and you're having all of this stuff, and you don't want to have one tenant just come by and sue you and then grab everything, right? Like that sucks. You worked really hard for all of this, and it's just gone. So an umbrella policy will cover that. It will cover just any liability coverages. That or it's going to extend. So if you have an auto, so if you were driving, this is go for the teenagers as well, and then you have an accident with a motorcyclist, they either die or they're in the hospital and for long periods of time. What if your coverages on your auto is not enough? So what do? What is the family going to do? They're going to go after you and all of your assets.
Okay.
So having that umbrella is really important.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Lisa. Let me see if there's a. Okay. Let's see. Are there anything that I haven't asked you about that you would like to share with our beloved Facebook group?
The only thing I would like to say is that whenever you have customers, or if you are looking at homeowners insurance on your own. To compare them on an easy way to read it is OPIC.Texas.gov, because that website will look at policies side by side. So you don't have to look at 56 pages of a policy. You can actually understand what the dwelling is, what the water damage, what all of these things are in a way that is very simplistic.
Okay, can you repeat that website again?
OPIC.Texas.gov.
OPIC.
Yeah, because all of insurance is regulated by the Texas insurance. So everything's going to go through there.
Okay.
I think people forget that we're regulated.
Well, that's good to know.
We just don't do things willy-nilly or have these increases or whatever it may be, or these coverages willy-nilly. It has to go through the TDI, which is Texas Department of Insurance.
Okay. So we talked mostly about homeowners insurance and then some about auto, and then you mentioned that you also do sell life insurance?
Yes.
Okay. and tell us a little bit about that. Although I'm not really a life insurance policyholder, but I'd like to find out a little bit more. Yeah.
So life insurance, I hope that everybody knows at least what the premise of it is. I always recommend couples who are buying a home to buy life insurance, because let's just be honest here, whenever you're purchasing a home nowadays, it's on 2 incomes. Nobody buys it on 1 income, or 90% doesn't.
Yeah.
So if both of you are purchasing this home and you're having a mortgage and 2 people are, inputted, what happens if one person dies? How is your spouse going to make sure that they can still put in the payments, they can still take care of everything? So I always recommend term insurance, which it will expire at a time, but it will cover during that duration of the mortgage.
Okay.
So at least during that time period, you're good.
So does that mean that, if
I know, it's like super morbid, right?
if unfortunately I die and then Doreen has all these mortgages, does the life insurance pay up to how much we purchase all at once, or do they pay me month by month?
So it's like, so if you passed away, I would be able to go to her home or your home still, right? And then give her a check. So say if you looked at everything, all of your debt, everything was $1 million, just say that, then we would give her legitimately $1 million check.
Okay.
And then you could split that for your final expenses, paying off the mortgages. I always recommend like 5 years of one spouse's income. So because it's going to take time to get over that person, trying to get through life again.
Okay. So maybe it's time we find out I'm worth more dead than alive, but don't try anything for now. Okay. Yeah. Don't try anything for now.
Yeah.
Okay. We have some. Interesting. We have some interesting questions, which is in a different language.
Oh, I can't read that.
Is it German, Guten Tag, or I have no idea. Okay, I'm moving to the next question. So as a first-time home buyer, what are some major points to shop around for to find my perfect fit?
Well, first of all, always shop through me.
Yes.
But you always want to make sure it's a replacement cost on both your contents and your dwelling. Because what happens is for either one and for your roof, what the insurance company will do is subtract depreciation. So say you have a couch that you bought brand new, it was $3,000, and to replace it is to be $3,000, but you've had it for 5 years. So they're going to only give you $1,000. So now you're downgraded all of your items. And I don't believe that you should downgrade everything just because of what happened. Insurance is supposed to put you back to where you were prior to the loss.
Okay. So in terms of, sometimes I know some homeowners would, one of the ways to kind of save money on the premium is by having a higher deductible.
Oh yeah, that's...
Now, up to what point, is the deductible too high?
Well, I can't make that decision. That's going to be on you. Say if your deductible is going to be $5,000. Say, what I always think of is if your house was at loss, tomorrow, and your car insurance, your car too, because that's what was happening in Houston. Can you pay for both?
Okay.
Because if you don't have that money in an emergency fund, like ready to go, there's no reason just to save money on it. Because when that time comes, you're on your own.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Well, thank you very much. Is there anything else that you want to?
Well, I guess the only other item is for a first-time home buyer is to check on your when you're shopping around, is to look up at that water backup. see what their sublimits are. If you're grandfathered into a policy, that's completely different. But whenever you're purchasing a new policy, like USAA, Farmers, a lot of companies are stripping down their policies to be a cheaper premium. So do you want a, subpar policy for your brand new home that you've worked so hard to have? It's it's things to think about.
Okay. All right. And let's see, we're doing well on time. Is there any other questions? Let me take a look. And Facebook is still trying to translate that, I don't know what language, German or steal a frog sandwich? Okay, how to steal a frog sandwich? I don't know. Where can I find a frog sandwich? So I don't know. So anyways, we're gonna continue to let Facebook translate that. And the questions, by the way, can still be answered after the session is over. So, and I'm going to let you have Lisa's phone number, email, her work phone number, okay?
Yes.
Not her personal, all right? And her work email. She's no longer available. All right, thank you so much, Lisa, for your time.
Thank you for having me.
And well, we hope to talk again soon.
Yes.
All right.